So that's the unloaded portion of our testing. From here, we're going to throw a load in the cargo bed on all these machines, run the course, and then we're going to get a trailer.
Okay.
Load that.
Let's see how it goes. So Scott, we just finished up the load test and the weight test. We've tested 3 machines today. So I personally felt that 2 of them did perform better than the 1, but we'll get into the finer details right now. I was testing most of the towing, so we had about 500 pounds loaded in the back onto a trailer. So hauling over some really uneven terrain, driving the Can-Am, I didn't even notice that the trailer was behind me. Other than the extended box and the extended length, I really didn't have to pay that much attention to it. It was easy to forget and very easy to maneuver. Almost forgettable that you have 500 pounds in the back. I could almost say the same for the Kubota actually. I really barely felt it in the back and it handled almost identical. The Kubota really wants to go and really wants to accelerate. So you notice that when you have weight in the back as well when you're trying to stop. But performance-wise on uneven terrain, again, I barely felt that 500 pounds in the box. I can't say the same about the Mahindra, unfortunately. Going up some hills with the 500 pounds in a trailer, I really was struggling to get up to speed and I felt that the engine was really kind of sluggish. And I guess we can go into the load category on the Mahindra. We almost bottomed out the shocks when we tried to put the load directly into the box. So can you touch on that specifically on the Mahindra?
Yeah, the Mahindra actually, unfortunately, we had to withdraw from the load test because when we did put the 500-pound pallet into the back, we had virtually used up all the suspension travel. So to avoid any damage to the machine and for safety reasons, we didn't proceed with the Mahindra in that portion of the test.
But with the other 2 machines, we were able to load that 500 pounds that was in the trailer directly into the box of the machine. And Scott did most of the testing for that. What can you tell us about how those machines felt that way?
Testing with the load, no problem at all. Virtually unnoticeable, really, for the Kubota, and of course the Can-Am was the same. And I had an opportunity last summer to drive the identical Can-Am with 1,000 pounds in, which is double our load from today. And again, almost didn't know it was there. So that 82 horsepower Rotax engine and the chassis design on the Can-Am is perfectly suited to carrying cargo like that. The Kubota, again, no problems there. With the 500 pound load and our roughly 800 to 900 pound total GVW trailer, both of those 2 machines handled it easily.
The only thing that we did notice was that actually getting the hitch on and off was an issue on the Mahindra as well. When we're trying to put our hitch in, it was very clunky and just not that easy to put on.
Yeah, the design of the hitch there, it was a bit tough getting the pin in. It did go in, but it was just kind of a different design that caused us some concern in getting that pin in, but we got it in and we got the trailer tow portion test done.
Other than that, I can say that all machines did perform quite well today. It was about 30 degrees today here in Manitoba, so sitting in these hot cabs, we did get pretty warm.
Yeah, we had a really hot day, but to the credit of the machines, we did not get an engine temperature light. So no mechanical problems that way.
To be honest, when it comes to hauling and putting loads in, I will have to say that maybe the Can-Am and the Kubota did outperform this specific Mahindra model that we have behind us.
Yeah, when you start getting up towards the high end of the spec range for their capabilities, that's when you really start to notice the difference in performance in the machine. So if that's not something you need, if you just need a runabout, not a concern.
So Scott, we've actually had a late entry to our testing today. Behind us is a Bobcat EV34 supplied by Durn Equipment. We put it through the same testing, the same rigmarole that we put the other 3 machines through. Tell us what you liked and what you didn't like about the Bobcat.
Yeah, so this is day 2 of our testing, so that's why things look a little different. Likes and dislikes about the Bobcat. Let's start with the dislikes. Kind of an annoying whining sound at low throttle on startup and slowing down and when under load at low throttle. It's not really a problem, it's just kind of one of those niggly little things that's kind of annoying. Really, other than that, the only other negative we can mark on it is possibly in comparison to storage on the other machines. This does have a flip-up passenger seat with a very small storage tray underneath it, and of course what that does is give you more floor space, so you could stack a larger item on the floor, which is something the other models didn't allow for in the cab. And under dash there's some storage, but the largest compartment has probably only about a 4-inch clearance, so if you had a pair of mitts on in the wintertime trying to get something out of there, probably a little awkward. Positives, and there were lots of them. We like this machine. Power, probably second best in power to the Can-Am, which came in at 82 horsepower, so we expected more power and torque there. Hill climbing, really good performance at low throttle on very steep grades.
Yeah, you had the engine brake kind of kick in, so why don't you talk about that?
Right, so on the downgrades, on very steep downgrades, one of the best engine braking of all the models that we tested, to take your foot off the throttle on probably a 40-degree grade, and we basically stopped with 2 passengers in it just by taking your foot off the throttle. And even with the load on, we did test with a 500-pound, same 500-pound load, we found that engine braking, even in high range, very efficient in low range, but in high range, really good there too with the load on. Unfortunately, because this is day 2 of our testing, we lost some of our testing equipment, which was the trailer, so we couldn't tow. But based on our analysis of the load, virtually hard to detect, really.
We were weaving in and out of some trees, almost invisible that you're towing 500 pounds. So very impressive that way, similar to the Can-Am.
So we would assume towing would be equally as good. We didn't have much suspension droop with that load on the back, hardly any at all.
No, I was watching from the side angle and you barely saw the back end sag actually, so that was quite impressive.
And just one last little niggly little thing that I forgot about was the tailgate latch.
Yes.
It's a 2-handed latch. I mean, it's an automotive style, but just the friction to get it to pop loose was kind of annoying on a 2-hand, but close it, just give it a push and it slams closed. Overall, high marks for this machine. So, Spencer, 2 days of testing, 4 machines, one of the most challenging UTV courses we've ever set up, and that wraps up our UTV review for this year.
Yeah, probably the funnest course that we've had personally since I've been involved. We just want to say thank you to BKT, which was the sponsor of this year's UTV challenge. And we want to say thank you to the dealerships that actually supply these machines. So the Can-Am Defender Pro that we were trying today was supplied by Enns Brothers. The Mahindra 1000 that's behind us was supplied by Hydro Ag Supply. And the Kubota over there was supplied by Gen Ag. So we want to say thank you to those local dealers for giving us the machines to test today.
And thank you for watching.